Hi, Rama. It's week 8, day 5 of our Bible narrative reading plan. Today we're in Exodus chapter 16. We've seen that God has brought his people out of Egypt. He's taking them toward the promised land. As we know, that's the trajectory of the story. But it's going to be a difficult path for God's people to get there, not because of any failure or shortcoming on God's part, but because of the lack of faith of God's people. In chapter 16, we begin, the whole congregation of the people grumbled against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness. Now we just saw God's miraculous deliverance of them through the waters of the Red Sea. And they pause and they sing a song of praise to God, praising him as their deliverer. But now, quickly, they begin to grumble. They begin to complain. Verse 3 says, "Would that we had died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the meat pots and ate bread to the full. For you have brought us out into this wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger." Now, if you look back in the story of Exodus of where we came already, we don't find this description. It seems that as if they are remembering things better than they actually were. They're acting as if things were so wonderful in the land of Egypt, and wouldn't it have been better if we had just died in Egypt at God's hand rather than him bringing us out into the wilderness to die at God's hand here. So they are not remembering things correctly, and they're grumbling and they're complaining. But verse 4, the Lord says to Moses, "I'm about to rain bread from heaven for you." I'm going to rain bread from heaven for you. This is a strange thing that God says he's going to do, but he's telling them he's going to meet their daily needs. He's going to do this each day, and each day, by faith, they need to go out and gather what they need for that day. They don't need to gather for multiple days because God says he's going to provide for them, and they need to trust God. What a reminder this is to us, even as we're looking back on what God has done in Exodus, that God promises us again in the New Testament to pray this way: give us this day our daily bread. It doesn't mean that we aren't wise in what we do with our daily responsibilities, with our work ethic, how we save our money, but each day we need to know that everything we have comes from God, that he provides and he meets our daily needs. Some of you perhaps have had times when you have felt that it was a day-to-day basis, that you weren't able to store up things for the future, that it literally was a day-by-day trusting God to provide your needs, and he came through. He does this for the children of Israel. He meets their daily needs through manna, this bread from heaven. But they don't trust God. They grumble and complain. He's provided, and now we're going to see that before long they'll be complaining that they're tired of his bread from heaven, his manna. What a reminder this is for us of how we need to be thankful and trusting and dependent upon God for all of our needs. Here's a summary of today's reading.
For more information, go to tunemyheart.org.